15 was the next most requested question out of the list that you guys filled in on that reply thing that I had put up on Edmodo. Number 15, when you're solving for gravity, this is one of the things that you had to do in the lab. If you didn't check your feedback on that one, I encourage you to. I tried to explain as much as I could to try and help you guys out with what you're going to need to know for that little mini test on Friday. Because we're still dealing with pendulums, your equation to describe the period of a pendulum is still 2 pi multiplied by the square root of the length divided by gravity. Since we're on Earth, you can just use 10. That's fine. I would encourage you guys, if you're solving for L or G, don't use this version of the equation. Go ahead and rearrange that equation like you had to do in the lab as well. If you don't have, or if you don't feel confident rearranging it yourself, don't worry about it. Actually, if you check out, and let me pull it up here, the packet review guide, all the way at the end of the packet, I've already rearranged all those equations for you guys. So check those out. They're up here. I think it'll make all of this a lot easier, especially if you're trying the quiz on quizzes right now, because I know there's a question where you've got to use this rearranged version of the equation. So if we rearrange this to solve for G, which I've already done for you guys, then you're going to get L multiplied by 2 pi squared. It's both 2 and pi that had to be squared in order to get rid of that radical right there, divided by your period squared. Again, everything that wasn't under the radical, in order to get rid of it, you had to square it all. So make sure both of those wind up getting squared. Gravity is then going to be equal to, what in this particular problem, it was 75 centimeters. So 0.75 meters multiplied by 4 pi squared. I went ahead and distributed the square, that way I don't have to worry about it later on. Pi squared is what I type into my calculator right there. And then when you divide it, make sure you divide it by the square of the period. 1.8 squared. I like to put the square in the parentheses down there at the bottom, just because I like to know that this is being squared and not the whole quotient that I just solved for. But that was number 15. I think 13, 14, and 15 will be a lot easier if you just go right ahead and use the rearranged versions of the equations that are provided.